Good day from wherever you are hearing the sound of my voice. My name is Dr. Janet Fashakin. I am an attorney at law and I practice from the law firm of Fashakin and Associates PC in New York. I come your way every now and then as my schedule permits to sensitize us on benefits of being in America and how you can become part of that benefit. Today, I want to talk to us about asylum. And like I always often say, America is a very wonderful country. And our forefathers, the forefathers of this nation, they have, because they themselves have faced persecution, they faced hardship from where they came from, they made laws that favor people from outside of the United States who want to make United States their place of abode, a place where they can live, a place where they can boast of, a place they can die for, and a place that is ready to give them everything they want that is possible for them to give them in life. So when you come and you are running away from whatever is chasing you or from whatever you are chasing, and you are able to run to this country, there are several laws that allow you to make your stay in this place. It's just that over time, with those generations gone, the next generation gone, 3 generations, 4 generations, it gets watered down that people are now second guessing every applicant. But if you know what you know and you know your right under the law, this is a country that respects law. They will not point it to you, but if you can point it to them and it is in the book, they will let you go. We have been able to help many people. There are people who enter into this country with no papers whatsoever. They got married here, they have children here, and for years they were not able to get their papers because they entered without any legal paper. But because of the laws under the books that allow such people under certain categories, and we were able to go under those categories. Today they have their green card. They are looking forward to becoming citizens of this country. So every now and then I bring you samples of ways in which you can stay in this country and establish yourself for as long as you are not a criminal. Even if you are a criminal, the law still excuses you under certain categories if you are not a habitual criminal, right? If you have not committed, let's say violations is not against you. If you commit misdemeanor, you have to commit 3 misdemeanors before it equals to 1 felony. So if you commit felony, you may not be able to stay in this country. So if you are here with the intention of committing crimes, you are in the wrong place. Because even if they don't get you in time, it's just a question of time. They will get you. And when they get you, the law will come heavily against you. So my lecture is for those who are here to make a good living, to make a life for themselves, legally, lawfully, and responsibly. And today I am going to be talking about asylum. Asylum or refugee status in the United States of America. There are 2 different things, but as I go on, you will find it. I will first of all run through what it is, like a synopsis of all these things, and then if there is time, I can go into more details with you. Well, the difference between the 2 types of U.S. protection, asylum in the USA and refugee status in the USA, is that you can apply for asylum from within the United States or at a U.S. port of entry, and refugee status is obtained by people who are outside of the United States. Generally, refugees are people who are outside their countries who cannot or are not willing to go back to their countries because they fear serious personal harm, either to allow qualified people to stay in the United States. So if you are granted refugee, you're granted asylum, you can stay in the United States and eventually you can get a green card and you can become a citizen. In order to qualify for asylum in the United States, I don't know of any other country, I'm talking of United States. In order to qualify for asylum or to qualify for refugee status, you must have suffered persecution or fear that you will be persecuted due to five different categories. You have to find yourself in one, two, or more of those categories. Either you are being persecuted due to your race, due to your religion, due to your nationality, or you are a member in a particular social group, or because of your political opinion. Let me go through that. You may have been persecuted due to your race, okay, um, what can I say now? Like you are a Yoruba and the Fulanis are persecuting you, like it's going on in Nigeria now. If you are able to prove it, you may be able to come under asylum, or under religion, you are a Muslim and some Christians are persecuting you, the Christians ruling class are persecuting you, or the Islamic ruling class are persecuting you, like you have like in Afghanistan, like you have sometimes in Saudi Arabia and other Islamic countries, where you may be suffering from not being a member of their religious sect. You can, if you are able to escape, and you are able to escape to the United States of America, you may be able to claim asylum. Or if there is such a war for which one clan is displacing the other one, and you have to mass leave that area to seek a better pasture where you can be saved, or maybe the United Nations created a makeshift place for you. That's a refugee. Like it happened recently in Afghanistan, in which there was persecution, and people moved en masse out of that place. The United Nations can assign them to different countries, and they may be able to come under refugee status. And so that would be either religious persecution or racial discrimination. And the same thing also goes for nationality. You may be persecuted because you are a member of a particular nation. If you are able to run from wherever you are and come to the United States, yes, you may be able to get it. Also, if you are a member in a particular social group, for instance, some countries still punish people who are gays, lesbians, people of alternative lifestyles. They get persecuted. You can get asylum based on that. And it could be for your political opinion. Sometimes you have military in power and they don't allow people to express their opinion. If you are very vocal, they may want to kill you or they may want to jail you. Just like we have in Yoruba land now for one of the leaders of the Yoruba sect, Chief Adeyemo Igboho. If he has to come to the United States of America, he will be entitled to asylum there. Because it is clear, it is open, it's recorded, and it can be proven. So that's due to his that in a way, his own is due to ethnic bias, and in another way, it's also due to political opinion of criticizing the powers that be. Now, what is persecution? Persecution means harassing, punishing, harming, oppressing, or causing someone to suffer physical or psychological harm. Okay? Persecution means harassing. So if you are being harassed, you are being punished for whatever reason that is not legitimate, or they want to harm you, they're coming after you, they're taking you out, wanting to take you out and kill you, or you are being oppressed, they put you in like they want to put you like in a solitary confinement or house arrest where you are being harassed and oppressed, or they cause you to suffer physical or psychological harm. You may be able they consider that to be persecution. And what do you consider to be a social group? A social group, there are many examples of social groups. Some examples are what I gave before, like the lesbian, the gay, the bisexual, the transvestite, people of alternative lifestyles, they get persecuted, and and that's a social group. And then what is political opinion? Examples of political opinion might include which political party a person supports, but there are many more examples. When you talk of political opinion, um, it might be your opinion concerning feminism. In some countries, people are persecuted because they are feminists. It could be domestic violence. If you are persecuted for leaving your abusive spouse, or if you are abused after declaring your political opinion on domestic violence, this may qualify as being persecuted because of your political opinion. And also to denounce. Some people are persecuted after expressing a political opinion in regard to reporting a person, company, organization, or government office. Let's say they're doing something that is wrong and you condemn it and you report it, you may be persecuted. They may come after you depending on how strong they are. Asylum seekers and refugees are allowed to work in the United States and are allowed to apply for a green card, which we call US, to get a US residence within 1 year of entering the United States as a refugee or being approved for asylum. Does it mean that if you stay more than 1 year that you cannot seek for asylum? Absolutely not. You can't seek for asylum even if you have been here for 10 years, but you have to come under a special category. You have to be able to explain why you did not apply for it within 1 year. It is possible that within 1 year there was no problem, but as you are about to leave, you heard that there is a problem waiting for you, and you may not have known about asylum, and you started hiding from the government here, hiding from going back to your country, and eventually you got to know, you have a knowledge that there's something you can do to regularize your stay. You can come under asylum if you have an experienced attorney. You will be able to put your papers together, put your stories right, and you'll be able to get it. We've gotten it for people in our office before, and but the only thing is you have to be truthful in whatever you do because they do check it out. Now, what are examples of persecution? You can have racial persecution like you have during the apartheid era in South Africa, like you are having right now in Nigeria. In South Africa, the country's black population was persecuted because of their race, or as also they were denied basic citizenship rights in their own country. Like the Yorubas and the Igbos are being denied basic citizenship right in Nigeria right now. A lot of people there may qualify for asylum. Also under religion, Jews have been persecuted for their religious beliefs for hundreds of years in many countries. The same thing in countries where you have religious fundamentalism, where you have Boko Haram ruling, where you have all these ISIS ruling, just as you are having right now in Afghanistan. That's an example. Also in Saudi Arabia, also in Turkey, where the majority is Islamic, and they don't want to hear about any other religion, and you are a preacher, you go there, you are an evangelist, you can be persecuted there on the basis of your religion. If you are able to escape, well, all well and good for you. And if you are able to make it to the United States of America, you may be able to file for asylum. But one thing I need to leave you, if you have ever stopped in another country that believe in asylum, before you get to the United States of America, you may be denied because you are supposed to seek for asylum in that place, just as is happening in Mexico border right now, which is one of the problems because Mexico believes in asylum, and those people who are coming from wherever, the caravan people and so on, they want them to seek asylum outside of the United States because they are passing through countries that believe in asylum, and that's one of the things causing problems right there. Everybody wants to come to America because America is a place to be. I can tell you that it's a place to be at this particular time in the history of the world. That I can tell you. So I don't grudge anybody wanting to make it to America. And thankfully, the Statute of Liberty I always quote is beckoning to everybody. But in getting here, make sure you do the right thing. Make sure you speak to the right person. Make sure you're not beating about the bush. Don't take no for an answer. If you ask one person and he says it is no, ask another person. You don't lose anything from that, because I said they will say what is facing one person is backing another person, and all attorneys don't practice the same thing. We have our specialties, like my focus, is on immigration in particular. I do other things like real estate, like divorce, but my main focus is immigration. That's different from somebody whose main focus is like a white collar crime, like my daughter, or somebody who is into corporation law, like my son, or into my several of my friends who enjoy practicing real estate, who enjoy practicing other things. So if you are asking them, they may not know the update in immigration, just as if you are asking me about white collar crime. I may know up onto what I studied in law school. I may not know what is the current one. So you need to ask people that are knowledgeable in what they do. We are at Fashakin and Associate PC, we are an award-winning attorneys in the area of family law and immigration. We are big on that. So you can seek us out. Our number is +1 646 261 6030. Moving on. Each year, thousands of people arriving at our border in the United States of America or who are already in the United States apply for asylum, a form of protection from persecution. Asylum seekers must navigate a difficult and complex process that can involve multiple governmental agencies. Those granted asylum can apply for and to live in the United States permanently, and they can gain a path to citizenship and can also apply for their spouse and children to join them in the United States. This fact is there. You can, all your families can come with you, your wife, your husband, your children, for as long as you list them on your application papers. And let me go into in depth of what an asylum is. Asylum is a protection grantable to foreign nationals already in the United States or arriving at the border who meet the international law definition of a refugee or an asylum seeker. That comes by the United States, the United Nations 1951 Convention definition and 1967 protocol, which define a refugee as a person who is unable and unwilling to return to his or her home country and cannot obtain protection in that country due to past persecution or a well-founded fear of being persecuted in the future on account of what I've listed: race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. Congress incorporated this definition into U.S. immigration law in the Refugee Act of 1980, if you want to look it up. Asylum is technically a discretionary status, meaning that some individuals can be denied asylum even if they meet the definition of a refugee. For those individuals, a backstop form of protection known as withholding of removal may be available to protect them from harm if necessary, and that also protects them from being deported as well. Because America is a signatory to the 1967 protocol, and through U.S. immigration law, the U.S. has legal obligation to provide protection to those who qualify as refugees. And the Refugees Act established two paths to obtain refugee status, either from abroad as a resettled refugee or in the United States as an asylum seeker. I hope that is clear enough. Now, how does asylum help people that are fleeing from persecution? How does that help them? Now, an asylee an asylee or person granted asylum is protected from being returned to his or her home country, is authorized to work in the United States, may apply for a social security card, may request permission to travel overseas, and can petition to bring family members to the United States. Asylees may also be eligible for certain government programs such as Medicaid or refugees medical assistance. After 1 year, an asylee may apply for lawful permanent resident status, that is, a green card. Once the individual becomes a permanent resident, he or she must wait 4 years to apply for citizenship. Once you apply for citizenship, bingo, you are an American. And America is a great place to be, as I've always told you. So there is no reason for anybody to be stranded in the United States of America. And so when I meet people who say they've been here 10 years, no paper, 20 years, no paper, I like to listen to their story. And many times when you listen to their story, you find out that it's because they've been given wrong advice. Because if you are here, you don't have papers, how are you supporting yourself? I know that some people support themselves through illegal means, which means they work for other people. You work, I've seen people who work with other people's papers. Those people take your money and they leave you with just little that you can survive on. You don't need to do that. The law is very clear in itself. And like I said, it's the generation after generation of the founding fathers that are making things difficult. But the law has not changed. There are a lot of ways in which you can legalize and regularize your stay in America. Say kudo to America, a country that I love so much. I love this country, and I'm not kidding about it. I love it so much. Now, asylum, what do I want to say now? Let me tell you the process of asylum process. There are 3 primary ways in which a person may apply for asylum in the United States. You have the affirmative process, the defensive process, and the expedited process. Expedited meaning to quickly do it. Now, what is an affirmative asylum? A person who is not in removal proceedings for a person who has been designated as an unaccompanied child, even if in removal proceedings, may affirmatively apply for asylum through U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, a division of the Department of Homeland Security Service, the DHS. If the asylum officer does not grant the asylum application and the applicant does not have a lawful immigration status, he or she is referred to the immigration court for removal proceedings, where he or she may renew the request for asylum through the defensive process and appear before an immigration judge. When it comes to something like that, I love it because our judges are good. They will tell you all of the other ways in which you can be able to regularize your stay. They are not harsh, and if they eventually have to deport you, it will take many years. And during those years, they have to renew your work permit. So you are working here, you have a social security, you have the right to travel, but one caution: in traveling, you cannot travel to the country that you say you are afraid of. If you travel there, you have to pray when you are coming back for the people you are going to meet at the border, because the reason is, if the reason for which you are seeking an asylum here is because you are afraid of persecution from where you are coming from, and you are able to travel there, stay 10 days, stay 20 days, or even stay more days, because your traveling parole allows you to travel up to 1 year, and then you are now coming back, and then they look that you came in through asylum, you got your papers through asylum, and they ask you where you are coming from. Let's say you're running away from the Fulanis of Nigeria. They give you asylum here, and you travel to Nigeria to go and do wedding ceremony. Then you are coming back, all dressed up, nicely made up and everything. And then they ask you, how long have you been gone? Oh, 3 weeks. What did you go to do there? I went there to do wedding. In which town? In Lagos. Okay. And the place where you are afraid of is Nigeria. They may deny you entrance. They may send you back. And then if also your asylum is based on the government of the day that is persecuting you, let's say during the Abacha regime, a lot of people were persecuted and were brought here. And then after that, we have the civilian regime in Nigeria. Some people were returned because if they have not become citizens and they travel, they coming back something, and there's a reason to find yourself in front of the immigration officer, or you are just applying at that time, or maybe your application is pending and has not been granted, and then there's a change of government, and now the government there now is a democratically elected government, then there is no fear for you anymore. You may be denied. But in being denied, like I said, you still have a lot of ways to stay here, because your attorney should have also checked and applied for withholding from removal. If that's the case, they are not going to remove you. So the second one is called defensive asylum. A person who is in removal proceeding may apply for asylum defensively by filing the application with an immigration judge at the Executive Office of the Immigration Review, the EOIR, in the Department of Justice. So in other words, asylum is applied for as a defense against removal, which is the withholding of removal that I spoke about. If your attorney is knowledgeable enough, he would have done that even immediately during the time of applying for your asylum. So in case there is a rejection with your affirmative asylum, you still have the defensive asylum that prevents them from deporting you. And also you have one that is called expedited asylum. Expedited, a person taken into custody within 14 days of entering the United States, who is placed into expedited removal proceedings, may be put through a new process that started in 2022, which allows the asylum officer to review and take decision on your asylum claim before you are placed into formal removal proceedings. Individuals put through this process who are denied asylum are referred to the immigration court for removal proceedings and further expedited hearings on the asylum application. It may happen, I've seen people who have stayed in that category for like 1-2 years and still get deported eventually. If they look at your reason and if it doesn't fall under the 5 categories that I told you, you may be deported. Asylum seekers who arrive at a U.S. port of entry or enter the United States without inspection generally must apply through the defensive or expedited asylum process. Thank you. I've seen maybe like 10 more minutes. I'll be there. So my apology. I'm still working in the office. Okay. So if you arrive at a U.S. port of entry or you enter the United States without inspection, you must generally apply through the defensive or expedited processes. All 3 application processes require the asylum seeker to be physically present in the United States or at the port of entry. With or without counsel, an asylum seeker has the burden of proving that he or she meets the definition of a refugee. In order to be granted asylum, an individual is required to provide evidence demonstrating either that they have suffered persecution on account of a protected ground in the past, which I've stated for you. That's the race, the religion, your opinion, and all those 5 categories. Or that you must have a well-founded fear. It's not just to say, oh, they are killing people in my area. You are not people in your area. You are a person in your area. So have they turned the gun at you? Have they mentioned your name as somebody that they want to kill? Do you meet the definition of somebody they are looking for? Maybe they go, we want to kill all the women there, and you run. Yeah, that'll be okay. But they are killing people in my area, will not qualify. They are retrenching people in my place of work. So they must be persecuting us. Oh, come on, baloney. They retrench people all the time, everywhere. Even the people you are talking to, they themselves may be facing retrenchment even right there and then. So that will not be qualified. So it has to be a well-founded fear of an ongoing persecution or a future persecution where you are coming from in your own country. And your individual testimony is usually critical to your asylum determination. So I have to stop here. If I have time again tomorrow or within the next few days, I'll go through the rest so that you can really understand it. But the bottom line is if you are in America and you are running around like like a chicken whose head is cut off, there is no reason for that. Stop running. Speak to an attorney. Your situation cannot be so unique that you'll not be able to find a grant for you to qualify for something under the immigration law in America. Because the people who made the law, they have thought it through, they've thought of what they themselves went through in putting the law in place. So until I come your way again, I hope you begin to think about your stay here in this country. There is no need to be running. Speak to a qualified attorney who can help you. Um, I am here, the CEO and the senior attorney for Fashakin and Associate PC. We have been in this location for over 21 years and we do what we do very well under the law, and we try to use human face and dignity to treat you humanely and to know that no condition is permanent. You may be facing hardship today. Your children may be in the position to even run for the presidency of this country tomorrow. That's the beauty of America. And so until I come your way again, stay safe, stay well, and always pray to God. He answers prayers. He makes a way where people think there is no way. And then you'll be so surprised that prayer works. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.